Ian Garry had this to say today.
In my ideal scenario, I want a 4th round finish. I don't want any early knockout, because then there's ifs, buts, maybes, there's excuses.
As you guys know, Ian Garry is a very, very confident kid. Islam is unchallenged as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. When you hear him say stuff like, I want a 4th round knockout because I don't want anyone to say it was a fluke. I love confidence. I love confidence. I love a guy that believes in himself and call their shot. What I don't understand though is sometimes a person is misguided in their thoughts.
Fucking fight, a sick fight. Back in the good old days, I would see your ass fight 3 times in a year. But now, you're lucky to see Islam fight once a year. It's just hard. But the fact that we get to see him, you know, fight Ian Garry, that's gonna be a sick fucking fight.
Ian Garry, he's a guy that can get it done. Islam is one of the greatest to ever do it in this game. He's dominant in his field, and now he's at welterweight. Like against JDM, I thought JDM scrambling would give him problems, but nah, it wasn't the case. I haven't actually looked at that fight too much yet, but I'm excited for that fight just because it's like, again, another one of those ones where it's like destiny. A guy like Ian Machado, who's come up, had those dreams, been saying I'm the future, and now the future is here. So will he get it done? Possibly.
Islam, he's fighting next UFC 330 next month against Ian Machado Garry. So who do you got in that fight?
I got Islam. It's a tough fight. You gotta rewatch Ian Garry's fight because I don't know him very well. People saying like he has a good takedown defense. I know a lot of people in 170, so I cannot say. But like Islam right now, he's the best.
Or a showdown, name exactly 3 fighters you would take with you. This is an interesting question because I wonder who Charles will take with him.
Islam Makhachev,
Who?
Islam Makhachev.
The fighters are Islam Makhachev, Dustin Poirier, and also Ilia Topuria.
Yeah.
Every time we see each other, they treat me very well. These are 3 guys whom I respect a lot as fighters. And not just for what they do in the cage, but also for who they are outside of it. And
who is the best among these 3?
Out of these 3, Islam Makhachev.
Islam Makhachev?
Yes, Islam Makhachev. I think he is an exceptionally talented master and is currently working hard on improving his footwork. I think he is one of those who, in my opinion, has undergone the most significant transformation.
I don't like the guy.
I believe that in reality we're just human, and sometimes we make mistakes. I think that starting with jiu-jitsu and moving into MMA, I became a well-rounded fighter and feel like a complete athlete. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, a bit of everything. My strength is in jiu-jitsu. I'm very confident there, especially on the ground. But sometimes in a fight, we make mistakes and don't use our best skills, like, for example, Islam Makhachev. Take Makhachev, for instance. He always has the right game plan. Take him down, apply pressure, keep pressing, impose his pressure.
Portrays and talks about he believes in himself. I actually believe in him that way. He's a young guy and he's using the media as a way to help to convince himself. But I actually think he's that good. I actually think Ian Garry can beat Islam. Now, I'm not predicting for you that he's going to. We'll get to that as this fight gets closer, but I'm sharing for you he can. And Ian Garry is a pain in the ass. And this whole thing that he can't wrestle, go ask Rachmanov if that's true. Or this whole thing that you can take Ian's back and finish him. Well, go ask Rachmanov if that's true. Or anybody else that Ian's ever fought or anyone else that's ever had his back. Because none of them ever finished him. But he's going to be to Islam what Conor was to Aldo. What are we talking about? He's got a way, he sees something, he's got a way, he's got a pattern, he's got something he's going to try, and if it works, he's going to look great. Is that what we're talking about? Sometimes that happens. George Masvidal knew, I'm going to throw a knee. If it lands, I'm going to look great against Ben Askren. If it doesn't work, he's going to catch me, take me down, and I'm never going to get up. But I'm going to put everything into this. Like, sometimes it does work. But I don't want that to be what Garry's talking about. I want it to be fun starting now. I want him to go after it.
Yeah, I think that obviously, I mean, that's true. Like, from a perspective of like just the truth. I mean, he's not the type of guy that's just going to KO you in the first round. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not really what he does, because he's really smart. Like, he's very defensively sound. He plays really long. I think the leg kicks and like the oblique kicks and the head kicks and just the frame difference between them means that Ian Garry's probably going to play. He always plays the matador. Like, he's never playing the ball. He's never like being aggressive and like trying to hunt you down. he like builds into a fight, and then in round 3, 4, and 5, that's when he gets a little bit more aggressive. That's where he like rocks people, like even Bilal and Prates or whatever. He had big moments against them in round 3, 4, and 5. I mean, Shavkat Rakhmonov, he gets his back in the 5th round. So I feel like if there is a finish from Ian Garry, it probably is in the 4th or 5th. So it's not ridiculous. I don't think it's ridiculous to say that. I guess that's what I'll say. It's not ridiculous to say that, but I also feel like, come on, bro, you're not finishing Islam Makhachev. Like, come on, bro. If you win this shit, it's by a decision. Like, let's be fucking real. Same with Islam. I mean, I think Islam has more finishing potential overall. Like, early on, he could snap up a Das. He's really fucking dangerous. Like, I think Islam overall is a more likely to finish this fight. But I feel like if this gets to round 3, 4, and 5, it's probably going to be a decision. Like, I think this will be a very close fight. Both of those camps have said the same thing. So I lean towards a decision. If you're asking me what I think is going to happen, I don't think it's going to be a finish from Ian Garry.
How good do you think is Ian Garry when you look at the rest of the division?
Dude, I mean, shit. Like, it's pretty hard to say he's not the number 1 guy. Like, besides Islam, right? Like, he beat Prates. He had a really good fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Like, had more finishing type moments in that fight. Beat MVP. Like, he's beat all types of weird style matchups as well, which I think is really cool to see.
About 35 minutes telling us all the things that he was going to do in his fight when he got into the octagon in Madison Square Garden. You left there, one, going, man, that meeting was much longer than it was supposed to, but also impressed by the kid and his confidence and his belief in himself. But when you hear him saying, I want to fight Islam Makhachev, who is the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world now, no questions about it, because obviously Ilya was in the conversation, but then when him losing to Justin Gaethje, Islam is unchallenged as the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
I want him to rattle him. I want Islam at the face-off to look away. Now, whether Islam does any of those things, right, it would just force Islam to rise. We could have some fun. Press conferences are only fun if there's a little bit of that sprinkled in there. Can we agree? Face-offs are only worth doing if there's a little bit in there. I just don't think that's what he's talking about. And I'm not getting the comparison. Now, I'm open to it. I'm open to observing this and updating you guys as we go and telling you, hey, that's what he talked about. Okay, he's doing, hey, remember when Conor did that to Jose? Okay, hey, here's what he's doing. Here's the playbook. I just don't know if that's what he means.
Yet, but we all kind of know he'll be fighting Ian Garry in August. Do you think Ian can do anything to challenge him, or do you see this as a pretty dominant fight for him?
Ian Garry is a top guy. Of course, he can do something, but I think he's not gonna be prepared for everything. We know Ian Garry, he have like a problem with the wrestling. Islam have very good control in the ground, and he have like good striking. My opinion is gonna be a huge fight. We'll see.
Khabib's a pretty candid guy. He speaks his mind. He talks how he feels and he shoots it straight. And he said, look, this is a difficult fight for Islam. We've never fought somebody this tall. He said that he uses range really well. He moves around a lot. He makes himself hard to grab. On top of that, Islam is pushing 35 years of age, and we're going to have to chase him down in this fight a little bit. We're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive than we've had to be in the past, because we need to get our hands on him. That's our best way to victory, is to get our hands on Garry and get him to the ground and let Islam do what he does best. Right. Now, could Khabib be saying that because he's trying to build the fight? Now, Khabib is kind of, he's a straight shooter, but he's also a promoter. He's also a showman. He's had his own MMA promotion before. Is he trying to build some excitement? And, dare I even say, when Islam makes it look easy against Ian Garry, it makes it look all that much more impressive. You mentioned Floyd Mayweather in the prior segment. Floyd used to do that with opponents. He'd be like a minus 2,000 favorite, and he's like, man, this is the toughest opponent I've ever had. I could lose this fight. Like, this guy could knock me out.
Laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah, now, is there a little bit of that going on? I don't know. But I do agree that Garry is not an easy opponent for Islam. Ian Garry's going to bring some wrinkles and complexities to Islam Makhachev that he's not had.
Ian Garry has answered a lot of questions. And if you're going to deal with Islam Makhachev, first and foremost, can you stop a takedown? Second, and it's in this order specifically, can you go hard for 5 rounds? Because Islam can. If you change it to 10 rounds, Islam's not going to wilt. Khabib and that whole team show up right. But if you could stop a takedown, and you could go hard for 25 minutes, conversation changes completely. Completely changes. Sean O'Malley is who I would encourage Ian Garry to study. Sean O'Malley is not a master of wrestling defense, but everybody thinks he is. Why? Well, because he never gets out wrestled. Okay. Why don't I give Sean that credit then? Because he doesn't defend any shots.
It's just Islam is the mark of excellence in MMA. You know, you're talking about just a pro's pro who, even when weight cuts don't go right, he still finds ways to win. But for the most part, operates like a pro. You know, I think engages in trash talk without going insane. I'll put it that way, which I personally prefer. You know, everyone's going to be a little bit different, but I kind of prefer that. But just in terms of like excellence, you know, can he wrestle quite as well as Khabib? Maybe not, but pretty close. And he can strike a whole lot better. He has fought, you know, very, very tough guys. I didn't know how 170 was going to go, and then it's just been what it's been. You know, I just think very, very, very highly, not only of his ability and his well-roundedness and experience, but his ability to, you know, remain focused on the goal at all times. So many of these guys, they get fat out of camp, they get in trouble, they lose focus, they want to do something else, the fire dies. And these guys from Abdul Manap's camp, man, they just stay grounded and keep hammering and keep hammering. And that's why they keep winning. And Islam is, you know, one of the very best to ever do it. A remarkable fighter, and you know, can go and do a numbered event in the Middle East, can do one in stateside, and I think that is a degree of its own kind of value. Hugely important for that organization and the sport generally.
Totally. Yeah, I think, and a big thing now is literally starting with this fight, you can promote every Islam Makhachev fight as historic beyond measure, given this winning streak. I mean,
that's right.
With Anderson Silva, you could say this is a fighter who's never done anything beyond the split like it is. That's a huge fact.
I'm intrigued by this fight. I mean, listen, Islam, as you agree, I think most people do believe he's number one pound for pound right now. So it's hard to pick anybody against that you believe is the number one pound for pound fighter in the sport. But do I believe that Ian Machado Garry has earned this opportunity and that he has a potential to win this fight? I do. You know what I mean? He's long, he's rangy. Listen, you already said you weren't going to try to make it all one-sided. I mean, he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. He fights intelligent. He stays committed to his game plan. He has beaten, you know, Bilal Muhammad, Carlos Prates, Michael. I mean, he's beaten. It's not the same fight. Now, I will say this. I saw a quote where he came out and was like, I could beat Islam in wrestling and grappling. And I was like, please let that be a smokescreen. You know what I mean? Like, again, and I always say, we talk about it all the time. Fighters need to have an almost insane level of self-confidence, right? Like, you should not be getting into a steel cage with another human being if you do not have the utmost level of self-confidence. So I want Ian to feel that way, that he does have the ability to be there, but I don't want to see it.
With UFC 330 getting closer, excitement is growing for the welterweight title fight between Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry. Many MMA experts have shared their predictions, and most believe Islam has the advantage because of his all-around skills. John Jones believes Makhachev will win thanks to his elite wrestling. He says Islam can control where the fight takes place, making him one of the toughest fighters in the sport. Cain Velasquez also praised Makhachev, calling him one of the most complete fighters in MMA, and giving credit to coach Javier Mendez for helping him improve in every area. Joe Rogan agrees, saying Islam's wrestling and submissions are among the best in the world. Teddy Atlas added that Makhachev's striking is underrated, pointing to his jab, footwork, and distance control as proof that he is much more than just a grappler. Some experts believe Ian Garry can make the fight competitive. Arman Tarukian thinks Garry's speed and movement could help him early, but expects Islam to take over with his wrestling and possibly win by submission. Colby Covington also picked Makhachev, saying he has too many weapons. Big John McCarthy believes Garry's movement could cause problems at first, but once Islam gets his hands on him, escaping his grappling will be very difficult. John Morgan says Garry has a chance only if he follows a perfect game plan and keeps the fight standing. Robert Whitaker is one of the few experts picking Garry. He believes Ian's cardio, footwork, and striking could frustrate Makhachev if he can stop the takedowns. Ray Longo also expects Garry's movement to make the early rounds very competitive. Carlos Prates believes Islam's pressure and wrestling will become too much as the fight goes on. Sean O'Malley says Garry's confidence and size make him a dangerous challenger. John Anik believes Garry has earned this opportunity and has what it takes to surprise the MMA world. Henry Cejudo also warned fans not to overlook Garry. He praised Ian's grappling and ability to take an opponent's back, saying this matchup could suit him well. Both fighters are training hard for the biggest fight of their careers. Makhachev continues improving his striking and grappling, while Garry looks focused and confident ahead of his title shot. Most experts are backing Islam Makhachev because of his experience, wrestling, and complete skill set. Still, many believe Ian Machado Garry has the movement, cardio, and confidence to pull off a huge upset. Who do you think wins at UFC 330? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more MMA news and updates.